What's happening, everybody? I'm Steve, and welcome back to Junkdrummer TV, where I give my initial reactions, my hot takes, and my analysis on the drummers of today and yesterday, and maybe tomorrow. If I stick around that long, I'm a professional drum teacher and a gigging musician, and I have been those things for the last 20 plus years. Episode 3 of the quarantine jam that I am doing to end the year out. Now, before I get into it, I would like to remind everyone that 100% of all PayPal donations will be sent to the Save the Music Foundation. Save the Music Foundation, of course, gives grants and musical instruments to underfunded high schools and middle schools across the country. I know everyone's hurting. Trust me, I know, because I am too. But if you can, please give during this time of giving if you can. Also, over on my merch page, I am doing a 15% off for the whole month of December. Promo code Christmas. Go check that out if you will. And let's get into today's episode. I have already done a video on Lamb of God. Of course, I did it with their original drummer, Chris Adler. Please go check that out. Hopefully, I'll remember to link it here or here. And today, we're going to be watching the new drummer for Lamb of God, Art Cruz, who, before the quarantine, I was going to go see open up for Megadeth. But that's a completely different story. Now, I don't want to get too much into the preamble because I've already done a pretty big preamble on the Chris Adler video. So let's just get into Art Cruz, Lamb of God, playing Checkmate. Also, I know in the comment section there's been a few people who said that it seems like I've done a lot of heavy metal lately, and you're right, but I've done a lot of quarantine jams lately, and they've all been metal bands. So if anyone else has any other suggestions that are quarantine recorded like this that aren't metal, please let me know in the comment section. I have not listened to Lamb of God since Chris left. I love how these quarantine jams give you a little window into everyone's life. Right off the bat here, Brother Art there has a much better setup for his recording than everyone else. Everyone else is just like, looks like to be in their man caves or just like in their living room, which I love. What I love about these recording. This has been the coolest thing about 2020. There hasn't been much cool. D. Randall here is using his closet as a vocal booth. That's hilarious. I think they're one of the best American metal bands ever. That right there, that whole passage that we just listened to is one of the reasons I love Lamb of God, is because they really are just this wonderful grab bag of everything that you like about metal. We heard like every cool trope in metal in that last little section. And right here, this is the AC/DC beat of metal, and they're giving it to you. Running 16th notes, 2 and 4 on the hi-hat, on the bass drum 16th notes. Right there, you've heard me talk about it before, the Black Sabbath principle. If you want something to sound heavier, do less on your ride source. You know, he's done every kind of writing that you can rhythmic wise so far, and this big breakdown, I live for breakdowns. He's just playing quarter notes and probably a China cymbal, I think. If you want it to be heavier, play less. If you want to be thrashier, play more. Okay, I'm going to try to get through this video and not do a one-to-one comparison to him and Chris, because I don't like that. although I'll be doing it later on the Drunk Uncle Radio podcast. If you ever watched the Drunk Uncle Radio podcast, please go check that out. I love that show that I've got on my channel. But I'm going to bring it back. That little, I call it that little sweepy splash thing that he did. That's very much in the sandbox of what we're used to hearing out of Lamb of God drums. Like that's the kind of shit that I love about the drumming in this band. Check this out. That drum fill is awesome. Right there. They just write, whoever is the main writers in this band, they write in a way that allows the players to be creative. I mean, dude, this sounds like good Lamb of God to me. I've never really heard a Lamb of God song where I was just like, yeah, I didn't like it. Okay, this is a good place to stop because I think I came up with something, and I don't know. You know, when I talked about some of the things I've talked about already, I talked about in the first Lamb of God video. I don't know if we're seeing Art Cruz being respectfully, I call it playing around in the same in the same sandbox as Chris Adler set up for this band. Or it's a thing where whoever's the main writers in this band, and I'm not too wonky on the members and that with Lamb of God, but maybe it's whoever is the writer writes things that allows you to be really creative. Lamb of God's drumming has been my favorite in the sense of the ability to be creative in a genre where it can sometimes feel like it's all been done. You know what I mean? Like it's all the drumming in metal has been done, but it seems like these writers write in a way that allows you as a drummer to really stretch and not just play extreme shit and just not play as fast as you possibly can, but to be really creative. That's really cool if you can get with writers like that. Because I know for a fact that, like, I've played with writers that will write with the players in mind. They'll say, like, okay, I can put this section here because I know this member will shine. And then some writers are just like, fuck you, here's the song, and you figure it out. I prefer the latter, of course, and it seems like that's what's going on here. Yeah, even with like this, such a common type tom groove, the snare drum placements, let's go back and listen to that real quick. The snare drum placements are in such, and that might even be an odd time. I'm not counting right now. I'm in no mood. It's Christmas time. But just even the snare drum placements is what spices up what otherwise could have been a pretty pedestrian tom metal groove. But check out what he does right here with this groove. That's really cool. Adding those 30-second drum fills sliced up. All right, that's not like that. Man, that sucks. I was going to go see them. Shit's happening again. He has one of the all-time great growl screams. You know? That part right there just sounds like Vinnie Paul, baby. And you know, another thing I love about Lamb of God is there's prog in their writing, in the sense that there's just so many parts to a song, but it never feels up your ass prog nerdy to me. It's really complex composition, but it doesn't sound like 5 Berkeley grads trying to validate their degrees with their music. They're proggy, but it doesn't feel proggy, which is another reason why I probably love them so much. D. Randall is a Phil Anselmo fan. All the things I love about metal in one unit. Beautiful. I'm trying to think of like... I would love to know. I'll put this right here. I have something to look at. I'm trying to figure out what would be a one-to-one comparison of another kind of band where, like, everything that you love about that genre is represented wonderfully, and it feels organic. It doesn't feel like, oh, hey, I think we need like a skank beat here. It's just, that's the thing I love about Lamb of God. It's like, if you... they're the Venn diagram of all metal, and that's a fucking cool place to be. And I think that they're one of the best American metal bands that's come out in the last 20 plus years. They're going to be legends. Again, it's a fucking bummer that Chris Adler's not in this band. And I said it in the last video, and I'll say it again. If my little brother kicked me out of my band, and look, comment section, I don't know what the fuck you say, I know for a fact that he was fired. I know people who know him, and I know this, so fuck off with that. He got fired by his own brother, and that's a fucking bummer. But Chris Adler, because he's such a fucking good human being, helped Art Cruz get this gig, because I'm pretty sure they're buddies. So, I mean, you know, bully for Art, and coming in and maintaining and being just as awesome. And it's great. This is the first time I've listened to them without Chris Adler. Because I love him so much. But man, this is just as good as anything they've ever done. So if you all enjoyed all that, please help me feed the algorithm, because the algorithm is kicking my ass. I haven't had a hit since like Bobby Brown had a hit. That's a drug joke. Please give me a like, comment, and share. Go check out my Patreon. Go check out my merch page. Everyone, please try to stay sane in these trying times. And if you need some metal that has all the metal that you like in one thing, listen to Lamb of God and keep practicing until it's easy.